Before the universe came into existence, there were 6 singularities, which a group of cosmic entities would later transform into 6 Infinity Stones as the early universe was forming. The 4 creatures, known as Infinity, Entropy, Eternity, and Death, made these powerful jewels to represent space, mind, reality, power, soul, and time. Eventually, the Stone of Power came into the possession of a giant, heavily armored humanoid race known as the Celestials, who wielded the stone inside of an orb, harnessing its power to rain destruction upon their enemies. However, even the mighty Celestials found the power of the gem overwhelming, choosing to abandon and hide the orb away in a temple on the planet of Morag. Over time, the world's climate drastically changed, becoming covered in ocean. Yet the temple remained accessible once every 300 years, when the waters temporarily receded. As the civilizations of the universe developed and expanded beyond their homeworlds, the Kree Empire became a force for conquest, using their authoritarian and militaristic culture to subjugate other worlds. After a particularly devastating war, which saw many Kree casualties, the Empire became politically divided in how best to seek revenge for their losses. One faction decided to send scientists to a number of worlds, where they performed genetic experiments on the native populations in the hopes of developing a powerful biological weapon. Some of these scientists came to Earth and through their experiments manipulated human genes to create a subrace with unique abilities that would come to be known as Inhumans. These genes would remain dormant inside the host body until exposed to Terrigen mist, which emanated from Terrigen crystals, also created by the Kree and stored inside devices known as diviners. However, when the Kree government learned of these illegal experiments, they shut the project down. Alveus, known as the Hive, a powerful Inhuman able to manipulate the minds of other Inhumans and possess the minds of the dead, had originally been intended to lead the Inhuman army on behalf of the Kree, but instead rebelled, leading his people against their creators, banishing them from Earth. However, Alveus had become so powerful that his own followers came to fear him, seeing a human-inhuman alliance turn against their former leader, sending him through a device known as the Monolith, a teleporter created by the Kree, which exiled Alveus to the planet Maveth. Yet not all were prepared to abandon the man who freed Earth from the Kree, and so a cult formed with the intention of bringing Alveus back to rule Earth. This secret society would eventually become the organization known as Hydra, bent on world domination with an eternal devotion to the Hive of Maveth. Though their initial efforts did not succeed in returning Alveus to Earth, they were able to keep him alive by sending human sacrifices through the Monolith for Alveus to possess as a new host body. Although the plan of the Kree failed to produce the exact results they wanted, their experiments caused the Inhuman genes to pass down to later generations, meaning many future humans would only need to be exposed to Terrigen mist for their powers to surface. As the various civilizations of the universe struggled against each other for power, expanding and conquering new worlds, the species known as the Dark Elves became concerned. A race older than the universe itself, they once ruled the 9 realms with absolute authority, but slowly saw their power erode as the 9 realms further developed and grew in power. Eager to return to the days of their glorious past, the Dark Elves followed the cruel and tyrannical elf Malekith, who took possession of the Reality Stone, known as the Ether, and with it planned to destroy the 9 realms, wiping out competing civilizations so that the Dark Elves would once again reign supreme. In 2988 BC, the Convergence began, a cosmic event which saw the 9 realms align, presenting Malekith with a unique opportunity to launch his attack against all his enemies at once. However, the Asgardians, a race of powerful beings from the planet Asgard, who many considered the leaders of the 9 realms, acting as a police force for their protection, rose against the Dark Elves, determined to stop their genocidal plan. The Asgardians were led by their king, Bor, father of the future king Odin, who led his people against the elves in the first battle of Svartalfheim, where they defeated the enemy and captured the Ether. Malekith and his lieutenants abandoned their soldiers once they saw the war was lost, and went into deep sleep, waiting for the next convergence, when they would once again attempt to destroy the 9 realms. Although King Bor survived the war against the elves, he would die in a future battle, allowing his son Odin to succeed as ruler of Asgard. Thousands of years later, in 965 AD, Asgard would once again go to war in defense of the 9 realms, when the frost giants of Jotunheim violated signed treaties and began a military campaign to conquer neighboring planets. The Asgardians confronted the giants as they invaded Earth through Norway at the Battle of Tonsberg. The giants were then pushed back to their home planet, where they were at last defeated at the Battle of Jotunheim. After the fighting, King Odin discovered the abandoned son of the frost giant king and took him to to Asgard, where he would be raised alongside his son Thor, naming the boy Loki. A special thanks to all those who have contributed to Civilization X. You make these videos possible, and I am eternally grateful for your support. If you would like to help Civilization X and want a say in the future content of this channel, click on the Patreon link in the description box below, and pledge any amount you'd like on a monthly basis. Or if you would prefer to make a single donation, you can use the PayPal link, also in the description below. And please be sure to like and subscribe, and click on the links to see more.